All that stuff chipped right there in the side?
Yeah.
Right there?
Burn the side off of it.
Burn the side off the piston?
Why'd you do that, Otto?
I didn't mean to do it.
Why did you create that?
This is the inside of Kenny's shop. If you ever want to know what a mechanic shop looks like, this is it right here. Everything is in where it's supposed to be. Kenny knows exactly where everything is, I promise you. This is it. This is what a real mechanic shop looks like. Metal shavings and bits and CNC machines, engine blocks. The chair is new. So if you ever want to know if you have a good mechanic, go in his shop. If it looks like this, you probably found a keeper. Alright, hey, so it's the week before the BFL on Kerr. Me and Vic came up here to do a little bit of pre-fishing. We're interested to see what's going to happen. It's overcast. Cold front's been through the last few days. Don't really know what the fish are going to be doing. I think I know what they're supposed to be doing, but I'm not so sure that's going to be the case. But hey, we're up here to fish Saturday before the BFL. Vic, you got any words of wisdom?
No, sir. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Practice starts now. Okay, so first day of practice, and I start fairly close to the launch area. That's typically what I do. There's always some fish around that area, and I start close mainly out of convenience. And my thought was, let me get offshore. I think these fish are post-spawn. The lake level is at 300, which means there's not a whole lot of bushes and stuff in the water. Some guys do start opposite. Some guys start at the opposite end of the lake. I have buddies that do that. They'll run, 40 miles down the lake, or they'll launch at the end of the lake. I don't do that. I like to launch wherever the tournament's going to be at, and that's where I like to start. And as you can see, I quickly transitioned to the bank, and I did not have any bites on that first offshore stop, and I thought, well, let me just go a little shallower and take my time and pick things apart. And that's what I started doing. I was throwing soft plastics, I was throwing a crankbait a little bit, but my experience with a crankbait post spawn, it typically just doesn't work for me. I knew there was a shad spawn bite going, and I think probably the other 172 anglers in this tournament knew that as well. Typically, most of your obvious shad spawn places are, taken up, and I never have the confidence that I'm going to get a really good boat draw and get there first. I guess if you found a little spot where they were spawning really good and you had a good boat draw and you could beat most of the guys there, you could sack up a big bag. That would be my guess, who wins this tournament at this time. The guy that can get on a good shad spawn bite early with a good boat draw. Maybe he could rack up, a couple 4 or 5 pound fish fairly quick, while the rest of us have to kind of pick around. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm picking around. I'm fishing some docks. I'm fishing laydowns. You know, another thing that was going on this tournament is, you know, just fish laydowns. That's all you got to do. There's a fish on every laydown. There may be, but after days of practice that I knew was coming up, I really don't think there's going to be a fish on every laydown. So I tend not to go to too much of the obvious stuff, although I get sucked into that like everyone else. I just thought that my best bet was to start shallow and just kind of take it easy, you know. You can see here, yeah, I'm picking out some line. I hadn't really had the boat on the water for a while, and I needed to change my line, which I never did get a chance to do. But you'll kind of see how that goes here in a little bit. The practice was really slow. Didn't really catch much. I think I caught one. Well, I didn't really get it in the boat. It was about a 2.5 pounder, and I think Vic caught a small one as well. And it just turned into a grind right away. Now the watercolor looked good. I could see that right off the bat, which I really liked. I liked the fact that the weather was shaping up to be good on tournament day. I also like the fact that the fish weren't spawning. You know, sometimes these spawning tournaments, although it has worked out for me in the past, but these spawning tournaments, guys get on it, and a lot of it, again, depends on the boat draw and just kind of timing. So I tend to do better when, you know, it's post-spawn. I never really got on a pre-spawn bite this year, so that's what I'm looking for. Maybe some fry garters, you know, some fish around some of these boat docks, maybe some stumps that, you know, are slightly under the water that you can't see that well. And that's what I'm starting off with. I think the idea of fishing shallow appealed to me, but I had the feeling that some of these fish were going to be in probably 8 to 10 feet of water. And a lot of that turned out to be true, but in practice it was really a grind. So this is just a typical do-nothing bank on Kerr, and a lot of the banks look like this. You can see it's got a little bit of brush in the water, but there is a lot of stumps underneath the water in Kerr that you can't see. The lake level was a little high for that this time, but especially when it gets down around 280, 290, you can see them. But I hit some of these do-nothing banks as well. I also hit some obvious stuff, right? These are the power lines. You know, you have to look and see what creek they're in, but it's no secret. I will tell you, I did use my Panoptics a little bit on this, and I could see some fish down there. I thought it'd be a good place to maybe start familiarizing myself a little better with this piece of equipment. Of course, it did not turn out the way I wanted. I didn't catch any fish doing it, but I did see some fish moving around down there, and I probably spent, you know, 30 minutes messing with it in these power lines. A little bit deeper area. There were some fish down there, but it just didn't work out for me. Again, you know, you can get sucked into these Panoptics things. I know some of you guys are really good at it. I'm not yet, and it's really something I need to work on, but it's just going to take me some time to get used to doing stuff like that. And I think the other piece is, you know, how much payoff is it on these lakes we fish? I don't know that yet. And here's another place that's pretty obvious, you know, the water pump station on Kerr. I know a lot of guys fish it, but it's always worth a check or two. Just something to have in the back of your head, you know, in case you need a quick fish. Well, that ain't good.
I hear when you stop it, I hear something weird. Bam!
Where's your line at?
No, my line is short.
Huh?
No, my line is short. No. See a smoke?
Where?
Right there.
Where?
See, I left a little smoky in there. You see it?
Yeah. Hey, so I cannot believe it. We drove all the way up here to Kerr Lake, and I've got engine problems, you know, so probably about an hour and a half of practice, and smoke started coming out of the front of my engine. The engine started shaking really bad, so we got to call it. We caught 2 small fish. Don't really have anything figured out. Water temp's about 59 to 61. So hopefully I can get my boat back in the water before the tournament next Sunday. It's going to be close. I'm going to see my buddy up at Black Magic Racing, Kenny, up in Virginia. You know, it's gonna be a long drive, but I really don't have a choice. He's the best mechanic I know. You know, these things happen sometimes when you're tournament fishermen. Everybody has boats, know you have problems. Sometimes it's at an, you know, inopportune moment. At least it didn't happen on the tournament day. But we're out of here, and hopefully an hour and a half practice is enough. I doubt it's going to be. I think it's going to be a finesse bite. But we're heading to see Kenny, and we'll see what happens out here. See y'all. Go for it.
Let's load up, man.
Is it? So at this point, the only thing I can do is leave it with Kenny and pray that he gets it done before the tournament begins. You already tied up down there?
Yeah.
I got in at like, I think I pulled in here at 1:36 in the morning.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude. I was seeing Bigfoot on the roads last night and everything.
Oh yeah, you start seeing gazelles and shit, zebras, and shit that don't exist.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah, it was bad, dude.
That means you're one decision from being upside down a ditch. That's what that means.
Yeah,
Right?
I was close to it.
Yeah, because your reaction ain't for shit when you're at that point. You start seeing Bigfoot and gazelles, zebras, giraffes. Yeah.
And luckily I was smart enough to pull over, so all I had to do was just ease in this line, you know.
Yep, I saw you, man. That's good.
It's like if I would have parked in a spot up there, I'd be in the back of some crazy line right now.
Yeah. Agreed.
I'll tell you what, dude.
Agreed.
I was break off last night, man.
Oh yeah.
Absolute break off. I pulled into Kenny's. I pulled into Kenny's a little after 9 o'clock last night. Crazy, dude. Absolute crazy. But I made it. I'm here.
You're here, so I was making sure. What would you tell me?
I'm here.
But I saw your truck this morning. I'm like, okay, he made it.
Yeah, I usually can sleep halfway decent in the back of this truck. Something about that diesel engine puts me to sleep, man.
So much purring?
Yeah, just puts me to sleep, dude.
Yeah. Well, let me hop my ass off and get to this boat check, dude.
All right, dude. I'll see you down there shortly.
Yep, later.
Later. 25.
Auto?
Yeah.
Good luck, Mr. Auto.
Appreciate it, brother. Okay.
Probably not enough of it. How you got today? No, it's on help. It's a 14. Yeah. Get all the luck I can get. up, are you?
What's that?
Getting rigged up?
Yeah, I am, yeah. Oh.
What time did you get your boat back?
About 9 o'clock last night. So one of the aspects of this tournament was I decided I was going to fish really close to the boat ramp. And this is my first stop. You can see it's in the back of Nutbush. It's, you know, no secret area, but considering I could not run my motor over 3,500 RPMs because it was reset to break-in mode, I decided that's what I was going to do. I really had no practice, didn't have much to go off. So this is where I started, and surprisingly, there was quite a few boats back in here, maybe 7 or 8 kind of muling around in here. I actually talked to one guy that had engine problems too. I guess he blew his motor the day before the tournament started. He was way up near Clarksville, and he had decided to come back in here and fish as well. And, you know, at first I was like, I'm not sure if this was going to pay off, but it gave me some comfort that if I had more engine problems, I would be okay because the ramp was right there. I mean, worst case scenario, I could troll over to it. And I knew I couldn't run far, and so I wanted to maximize my time and put, you know, as much time as I could into actually fishing and keeping the bait in the water. And my goal really was to survive this tournament. You know, I didn't really have any aspirations to win fishing here, but I thought if I could catch a limit and, you know, hold my own, I would stay decent in the point standings. I figured I gave this place long enough to rest.
Okay.
I don't know how big he is, but I got him. Hey,
yeah.
Get in get in there.
Coming this
Put
way.
water, put water.
Coming this way, buddy. Hey, close up to the bank. Where's he out here? He in the rock.
Oh yeah. So once I got this first fish in the live well, as always, it took a lot of pressure off. I felt like, hey, I can catch some fish in here, and I started building from there. God, he come off.
Over in the shade, wasn't he? Hanging out in the shade. My buddy's gonna come up here and fish 2 days. And he'll be going to chatterbait, this and that. Got him?
Yeah, I got him.
Eat. I can't get nothing. Oh, bumming me out. I did throw one a little stump.
That's a good fish.
Yeah.
I gotta do it in a row. I don't want to jinx myself. I'm putting my number 5, and I won't. Settle down, fellas. Settle down. You see how shallow that fish was, dude?
Yeah. I don't really trust the shop too much yet. My sister's been trying to urge me to get it. So I thought, well, I need to throw over there, pick over there. Look at there now. Where'd you look at? Come out easy, Dick.
Good man.
On lay down.
Good man, buddy. Hey, give me some, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, mate.
I'm gonna go over to that tree after he throws over and then. That didn't work out for me good.
Appreciate you,
That's the
mate.
biggest fish yet, ain't it?
Oh, yeah.
Think that weird how that thing came out like it? What, he bite a worm?
I eat, man. You can be a lot of things in the Marine Corps, but you can't be fat.
You got a weight requirement?
So at this point, the tournament is over and we're heading to weigh in. I've got 5 fish in the live well. One of my catches, for whatever reason, didn't get on the GoPro. But I think I've got, I'm guessing I've got around 10 pounds in the box right now. And, I'm feeling pretty good. I caught a limit and I feel like I got it done considering the limitations I had. But, hadn't weighed in yet, so not quite sure where I was going to finish. But I felt pretty good about the day. Hey, is this trailer weigh in?
When'd you get up here, man?
Up here Thursday, didn't practice. I practiced yesterday.
Yeah.
I ended up playing cards drinking the damn liquor all night until 5:30 in the morning, so I didn't get on the water yesterday till 11:30. I won $360, so.
Hey, you can't beat that. Yeah, man.
All right, Adam, we'll catch you at the next one.
All right, Mike. We'll see you, buddy. Hot Rock. Yeah. All right, Mike. Let's bag these things up.
Yes, sir. Getting where I need to watch that big where I can see it. I need a function.
Here's one.
Don't be like me when you throw tons of water in your bag and all these fish. You'll be tired when you get there.
I got one. It's not looking too good. We gotta move quick when I bag this second fish.
Enough water?
Put a little more. No, this needs a little more water. This one ain't looking good at all. That's all right. I can't take a 4-ounce penalty today.
Is that it?
Yeah. All right, man. I got to get moving quick. Try to keep him alive, man. I got one's dying on me. So, 25.
I can fit mine in my pocket. 14 now.
Yeah. That's good, man. I got. So I'm happy.
By 5. I'll be back next week. Damn, coming along pretty good.
Otto Heck from Sneedsbury, North Carolina, fishing on the motor side. Got a 5 bass limit in his bag. Those 5 are going to weigh 10 pounds, 4 ounces, Otto. 10-4. Thank you, sir. Mike Bentley from North Wilkesboro.
Hey guys, welcome to the whiffing portion of the video. I hope you enjoyed the footage. I've been doing this now for a little less than a year, and I really appreciate all you folks that are watching these videos. I like to think they're getting a little bit better, but thanks, just a hobby of mine, and I'm kind of having fun with it. So first thing I'm going to talk to you about is my engine. Obviously, I blew my engine a week before the tournament,
And what could I do? Well, the only thing I could do is take it to mechanic. First lesson learned for you guys, make sure you get a good mechanic. Not necessarily a guy that can just change parts out, but a guy that can actually diagnose, and if he has to, manufacture parts and fix what you have, right? A lot of these guys, if you blow an engine these days, they'll just order a new power head, they'll put it on there, and you'll end up about, $7,000-8,000 into this thing, because really there's not a whole lot of people that can work and repair and sleeve blown engines and stuff these days. Kenny Anthony of Black Magic Racing is phenomenal. If you guys are ever looking for a mechanic that can do it all, I would call Kenny. There's nothing the man can't do with anything on a boat, really. I think he's the best mechanic on the East Coast, and I've met a bunch of them. A lot of people come a long ways, especially guys that do a lot of racing, to see Kenny, because it's just amazing what he can do. I mean, the man is unbelievable, and he's fair. He's professional, and he's going to charge you what he has to charge you. But he doesn't charge over exuberant prices or anything like that. So Kenny Anthony, Black Magic Racing, go check him out. He took care of me. If you run across a good mechanic, guys, you better hold on to him. Next thing I want to talk to you about is just a pro tip. If that water temperature is below 70 degrees, you really need to warm your engine up. Kenny will tell you he sees more blown engines in the springtime than any other time. Part of that is because engines have been sitting, but a lot of that is because guys jump in the water, they don't warm their engine up, they stomp the gas, they take off down the lake, that water is still cool, and they end up having engine problems, right? So in the springtime when the water's cool, take the time to warm below 70 degrees, take the time to warm your engine up for at least 10 minutes. Don't run above 3,200, 3,200 RPMs for at least the first 2 miles where you're running down the lake, and you should get a lot more longevity out of your engine. I'm running a Mercury. I've run Mercury, Johnson's, Evinrude's. Mercury's are great engines. Mine has been phenomenal. It's got a ton of hours on it, and I've put it through a lot. It's over 7 years old. Mercury is a great product, but just like anything else, right? No matter how good it is, if you keep using it, it's going to have some wear and tear. So just make sure you're taking care of your engine right. Make sure you're warming it up. Don't push it, especially if you're fishing a lot of rivers and shallow water. So as far as the tournament goes, what did I do? I fished around the ramp, right? I don't think that was any secret. If you watch the videos, you know Kerr it all. What did I fish with? I fished with that right there. It was a shaky head. That's it. I just threw a shaky head and I drug it around rock, and I fished really slow. I knew it was going to be a grind, but my goal was to catch 5 keepers. I did that. I finished middle of the pack. It kept me pretty good in the points. And this year, the BFLs, the competition has really been crazy, right? We had 180 some boats the first time. The first tournament, this tournament, we had 172, and it is super competitive. I think a lot of guys are trying to make the regional, Major League Fishing did put some more money into the program, especially at the regional level and the All-American, and so guys are fishing it. And I knew what I had to do. And I think sometimes there's a tendency when things break on you and they don't go your way, a lot of guys get frustrated. They get frustrated, they don't know what to do. I guess for me, it's my military training, right? If something's Murphy's Law, right? If something can go wrong, it's going to go wrong. And getting mad about it isn't going to solve the problem, right? So take one target at a time, guys. One target at a time. The first target is I had to get my engine fixed, right? Got my engine fixed. The second target is I had to go pick the thing up. The third target was I had to make it to the weigh-in. The fourth target was, hey, I had to catch some fish. And that's what I did, and I got it done. And I think that systematic kind of, hey, I'm knocking down targets and I'm moving on to the next one has really helped me from spinning out in this tournament. And it worked out well for me. And as far as, what I fished, a shaky head, a Senko, a small finesse bait, those are great ways to get bites. And I figured that that's what I needed to do in that area, and it worked out for me. And I ended up doing okay. I was really kind of satisfied with how it all came out. I mean, sure, I'd like to have done better, but I didn't expect to win the tournament in there. I just wanted to at least finish middle of the pack, hold my own, and keep myself in good shape of the points, and I did that. So I hope this Whiffam helped you guys. You're going to have adversity in fishing. You're going to have things go wrong. You're going to have to make decisions on the fly. And you got to keep your head up, and you got to keep a positive mental attitude. We hear that all the time. Some of these pros are like, you got to have PMA. and all that stuff. It's the truth, right? You have to be positive. You have to be optimistic, and you can get it done. And so I'm okay. You know, I've got my boat back, and I'm looking forward to the next tournament on High Rock. High Rock is always a grinder for me. Me and my buddies call it Heartbreak Lake. So we'll see what happens. I'm expecting another big field in this BFL, and it's going to be tough. And this year, there's going to be nothing about it, I think, all the way to the end. And I like it. I like the competition. I like getting out there and getting after it. So, hey, thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate all of you. If you get a chance, subscribe. You know, make some comments. I try to reply to all the comments that I can. And I really appreciate y'all. Good luck on the water out there. And, hey, if you're fishing BFLs, I'll see you at High Rock out here.